Good morning, welcome to day 2, working on my Osage Orange crossbow. And yesterday, I had worked it down, let me move that Jorgensen clamp out of the way. I worked it down to a growth ring. And many ways to skin a cat, not going to get into that so much. But this is a good progression of the steps that it takes to work a bow, whether or not it's this crossbow prod or say just a simple D-bow. I have this pie-shaped section, and so certainly the bow is not going to be this thick. Don't need to worry about that deep narrow handle D-bow here. And so my goal is to remove a whole bunch of wood here. You're looking at this big old chunk of hardwood and it's like, my goodness, how am I going to get rid of that? Well, a good way to do it is just using a highly developed scribe like I use, that you can adjust, the depth of the line, moving it along the back, or it even works this way for width, is you have like a key thickness. In this case, a bow this short certainly is going to be less than ½ inch thick. And so I just marked along my sides. After I did, you can see that yellow band. This is the same stuff, that dark and that light. It's just that this has been oxidized and it's darker. So this is fresh, nice, fresh, smooth cut. It allowed me to adjust my scribe to ½ inch, shoo, both sides, giving me a reference line. And so then I take my saw. I could either use my shaving bench here, or in the past I've just tied it to a fence rail. Taking a saw and just making these cuts like hand hewing a timber, cutting through there and just knock them out with a hatchet, or I'm using a hammer. So that's one progression. I call that chunking it out, just knocking a whole bunch of wood out there. And it's relatively fast. Even this hard Osage takes a bit of saw work. It's a relatively fast way of knocking a lot of wood out of your way quickly. Of course, hopefully you're going to see this. That's the pencil line there. I'm not cutting down to that pencil line because it would just take one fell swoop of that saw beyond that line and you'd ruin your work. So I work a little conservatively. I give it another ½ inch maybe above it. I just want to remove a lot of wood. I don't want to remove all of the wood with my saw and then knocking it away. The second step is I don't even necessarily take a bladed tool. You could just kind of, carefully, working of course towards your face, because that's the safest way to do it. Actually, I'd do this just to kind of remove big chunks. Generally, I left myself enough grace room so I don't need to work, in any particular orientation, but the safest way would be from the center out. Not going to get too crazy on that. Every step, ask yourself, did I screw it up? I did not screw it up there. I did not screw it up. Okay, following that, I kind of smoothed it out. How I work it is, hopefully you can see this. I'm going to put this in a safe spot right down there, which isn't necessarily a very safe spot. Oh, hey guys. Yeah. They heard me. Listen to the turkeys. Taking my farrier's rasp, which is the greatest tool in the world, and I want to flatten this off. I want to remove a lot of material, but I can't do it immediately to a flattened surface because I can't see that bottom line. So what I do is I angle it away and then follow it to that line and then turn it over. You're going to see another progression along with some more turkeys. On this side, which I work off my bench, just, I'm right-handed, like that. And that gives me a hump. This is the second progression. It's hump. There's a hump on either side. Once I get that worked down to the line, and I've got that hump, I put it in here in a different orientation. And I follow that up with either a draw knife or I use this, getting rid of that hump and flattening it off. Followed by, if you want, you can take a sharp tool and smooth that out. But once you get to the flattened spot, you have your topographic map. Not a lot of contrast in here, but can you see these bands? It runs right down to the center with an equal number of growth rings on either side, and then you can see what's going on here. On this, because I do not have a taper yet, and it is a constant width, it's going to look almost like a decrowned bow stave. I'll probably wind up with parallel lines running down this entire thing, and that will show me, given that it's an even width, it'll show me that it's even this way, and I don't have any of these things in here, and that's the progression. Pie shape. Saw, knock it out, rasp at an angle, flatten it out, get the whole thing. And then at that point, I shall go and I will refine this face, this shape right here. Because I've thinned it out quite a bit, thin, thick, it's going to be easy for me to precisely make the shape of the prod. I won't be removing a ton of material on there to do that, so that'll be cool. I will leave it, this is wide, just picture this is a D bow. This thing would be like really stout because it's so wide. Picture two very narrow 50-pound bows side by side. That's what you're doing in effect. Figure it draw weight per width, inch of width, or centimeter of width if you're metric. So you can increase your weight without increasing the stress and the possibility of exploding by just making it wider. And I can get away with that with a crossbow because, of course, the string's just sliding along the top of the table and you're not dealing with the paradox you would with a very wide bow. I could even go so far as to make this into a pyramid bow of a shape instead of having it centered, the center of the tip, center handle. I could have it flat on one side and then angled on the bottom. Again, you have some leeway with a crossbow. And with that, I'm going to follow my little feathered friends down here and see what they're up to. Apparently they want something. They want to show me something. There's something happening here. And my alarm turkeys have gone off. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. And the next time you'll see this thing, it'll be even more proddy. The proddiness will just keep increasing.